Well, let me begin. Welcome to Gently Healing with Jen Tilley. Thank you for bearing with me while I was figuring all of that out. I have my camera flipped this other way. He's messaging me now, so I'm going to just say all good so he knows. All good now. Yay! Thanks, guys. Okay, we did it. And here we go. Hello, Jacob. Hello, Tiffany. Hello, Aaron, Sam, Willow. Oh, man. Oh, it feels so good to be here. And I'm really grateful that we were able to figure out those technical difficulties. That's just kind of how it goes. And then the show goes on. So I hope you all have had a beautiful day. I know the energies are very strong and powerful right now. And I know in my life, it's getting prepared to also have people come in and stay here. And it's been fun to kind of get everything ready. And it's that anticipation. It's a good feeling. And honestly, it's like that reflection on kind of how isolated my life was before to like now I have people that are coming and like seeing me like here you guys all are. It's I can't even express the feeling that goes on within me. Super grateful for all of you supporting me and my journey and our journey together. This is how we unify, talk about the tools that we have found and also what I have personally learned on what it looks like to be able to heal just not oneself, but to heal other people. I'm very grateful that I made the decision to choose me a long time ago, so that I could be in a position to be able to now choose all of us and bring us all in. It is a really rad life. And I couldn't have dreamed it up, guys. Like I couldn't have. It was like the way I had been raised and the way my psyche had been took a lot of uncovering and undoing to be able to meet my shadows. And I think the shadow work is something that we will always be doing, but it is a fact that we always are needing to do it. We want to create the best life we could possibly create. It's just part of the journey and accepting and learning where we're at now, and learning to have fun doing it. I could tell you there was a long period of time where it's just like I lost my smiles, and it was very hard and grueling. And today it's like being able to find the laughter and play and remembering what it is to joke again and be silly. Has been a journey in of itself. But I would say you'd think that was the easy part, and it's not been. It's not. It was. It's been something that I've had to really want to do on a regular, like having to make the choice, like wanting that more than what, like how it used to be, what I was comfortable with before, and um, yeah, and now it's just looking forward to the future. I had this conversation with Zach, and it's about healing and heal, the word. And when you think of your body, the heel is the back of your foot, and it's in the back, and looking at the past and looking at all those traumas. And the truth is that we're the only ones that are traumatizing ourselves today with that. And if there's people still in your life that you're perceiving that trauma, well, it's a process of cleaning house. And I would tell you the ones that are supposed to be in your life will be. And even if there's a period of a break, if they're supposed to be there, they will come back. But choosing you and choosing that vibe and that positive flow and finding that balanced center is so worth it. And I remind myself all the time of that. It's like we have so many aspects of life that comes in that could be perceived as is harder, or like when I was talking about with the astrology, making sure that you know kind of what's going on there, that right now communication is a little bit harder, and that self-worth is going to be challenged, and looking at yourself and learning to love you right there, And going inward is what this time is about. And we're coming up on the Gemini new moon, which Gemini is arguably the most powerful sign because it's the most balanced of the dualistic signs. So we can utilize that. And what's so rad is that we're all entangled and we're all unifying. And so if we keep on this path, we use each other and build this abundance of energy. It is really, really an exciting time. Oh, Zach, thank the Lord that that got fixed. I'm at Walmart. See? Oh my gosh, guys. I am so happy that you're all in here. Uh, yeah, hallelujah. It's not really that complicated. It's not. It's really getting uncomfortable, like being comfortable in the uncomfortable and just navigating a plane that you're just learning, and that's okay. And what I really love is that I can sense that you guys are just, yeah, you're just here, and that's not a big deal. It's just part of that process. I saw with Zach and Aaron's podcast. That's why it's probably super helpful. Or when Kevin was on, we're all doing it, and it's really, really cool to to I guess maybe know that you're not alone, though it's an experience of one in this life, because you yourself are the only one that has experienced it every moment with yourself. And that's the biggest thing that I want to is to bring, is to help show that creation and that beautiful perspective, that that's all it is. It's just a perspective shift. And in life, if you are in duality, it's 50% shit and 50% good, and so but it doesn't have to be either of that. You just come to your balanced center and it all works out, and you just follow the next indicated step. It's like uh well, I forgot what I was going to say there. It's just taking the next intuition. It's just listening to that intuition, and intuition is a sense that has to be trained. And why it's important to navigate the shadows and learn to accept yourself in the shadows, and then not allow the shadow of the egoic self to rule the house anymore, will allow you to be able to actually train that intuition. And yeah, it's a skill, and when you keep on bringing yourself back to the now, you get it stronger and stronger. Aaron, I splurged on this today. I want you to know, thank you. It is a hibiscus tea, and it is delicious. It was not cheap for a drink that I would ever normally buy, but I'm pleasantly enjoying it. Just wanted you to know. So, what else? So today, for the meditation that I thought that I would bring for you, we talked about it yesterday, which is Maya Rose's beautiful Hopono Ono. I am telling you, I listened to this earlier, and it is so, so powerful. Maya just speaks this light language that is, and the music that is included is like one of the most powerful mantras, and almost like the binaural beats just pumping in. And so I'm really excited. I really want to share this meditation with you. And I think as we're going and learning to love ourselves, we also need to forgive ourselves so that we can let that past go and not have our traumas be pulling us, and not be healing ourselves looking at that past all the time. We're going to be looking forward instead of behind. So being able to meet yourself now and telling yourself you're sorry, and that you love yourself, and that I forgive you, is one of the most powerful mantras that I have ever used. And I shared this yesterday, is being in the teepee in that song circle that that girl put together for us, and singing that song. Like tears were just streaming down my face the first time, because it just was that connect. It's like years and years of just beating myself up, and then just allowing that to just be forgiven. I had this meditation. I've shared it, and I'll probably share it many more times, because it was profound. But Zach and I were meditating once, and I had full-blown judgment day within this meditation where I was sitting there and in the void space, and next thing I know, Shiva comes in, and it's this red, like neon outline neon Shiva, and he she it because it was not gendered, the Shiva that I met, and well, they took me through my judgment day. They Shiva took me back, and it's just an entity. This is what my projection of that looked like. The way I would explain this for people that come, these are symbol sets. I was studying a lot into like Hinduism and Buddhism and reading all the stories. So had I been studying more like religion, it would have been Jesus Christ coming and giving me this, really. I studied religion a long time ago. It was just that in this time, it was my symbol set. And there was Shiva. In fact, I think we were meditating in front of an altar that had Shiva. And they walked me through every step of my life, of all the fucked up things that I had done. But really, the primary focus of it was showing me my caretaker. And my caretaker, oh my gosh, I thought the caretaker was like the least problematic. I'm serious. Like when I was going to like AA and we were having all the character defects, like that's in step 4. You do this step work, and in step 4 they have you write out all the character defects that you see, and caretaking was on there, but it was like on the very bottom of the list, you know? And so it was like, oh yeah, but you know, it's the least of the evils. And no, that is absolutely wrong. If you are a caretaker, you literally are doing this thing that is like a self-esteem fundraiser. You're not doing the work for yourself. Also, when you are caretaking, this process is only filled with manipulation and agenda. Because you are not fulfilling this for yourself, you are externalizing that. So other people are telling you, oh, you're such a good person. Thank you. Thank you. And the reality is it's you. Like you have to do that for yourself. No one else can do that for you. That's why when the caretakers get to the ultimate extreme, which I took it to the ultimate extreme of that till I was completely mentally, physically broken from it, till the point I was like, okay, I must choose me. And it really came ultimately into this meditation where I sat down and was taken through sat, stood, I don't even remember what I was doing in it. I just know that I was taken. And I saw all that. I saw my agendas and the deceit that was in there, and the lies, and it was the hardest thing I had ever gone through, because I just believed in my mind that love was the language that I spoke, and this is how you spoke it. And in so many ways, when I was like helping other people, I just thought that, like, if I do this, it will have this ripple effect, and other people will see that you show up and you do these things. And it wasn't accurate. It was very, very, very devastating. And every time I was taken through one of those memories, I would pop back up and I would just say, again, I love you. I just knew that was what I was supposed to do. I just knew that the answer, in order to get my heart to weigh as light as a feather, which is thought in the emerald tablets, they talk about, the Anunnaki talk about, it will be that we need our hearts to weigh as light as a feather. And I just knew in that space that only love could answer that. And even if I was being shown how I was loved wrong, I can't even express the strength it took to stand up each time, which even emblazoned more strength within me to just keep getting knocked down. And Sammy, it's that song, I get knocked down, I get up again. She sent me that Chumbawamba song. Seriously, it was like that. And then I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. And so after the very last one, and it was kind of odd because like the very last one I went through, and it was almost like a pre like med like premonition of something to come, because it was a future, not a past thing, because it was taking me through attachments. And one of my attachments was to my dog, Sophie. And so I experienced also Sophie's death as the very last thing. And so Sophie seemed a bit out of place, but that was like, I think, calling me out on like saying that attachments also had to go. And it was symbolized all into this one set, which when I got Sophie was like before I met Zach. And I would say that I really hadn't known that level of love. I really believe that dogs, especially, are brought here to teach us something real special about it. It's like no matter how fucked up we are, they still love the shit out of us. And it is the most amazing thing to experience. So, going through that, I faced her death and I understood attachment in that moment. And then right after that last one, I popped back up and I said again, I love you. And they took, like, at that moment, this like lightning bolt like shot down my throat. And I was like, whoa. And I was still like transported, but it was still like void space. And in front of me now stood Krishna. And well, it was Vishnu. It wasn't Krishna. Krishna is like the avatar of Vishnu, and Krishna is blue. Vishnu was golden. So Vishnu stood in front of me in all the glory, still like that same weird, like neon outline, but like powerful being. And they, like, he showed me everyone that I had ever loved in my life, everyone that I had just experienced loving wrong, which was devastating. But every one of them stood in front of me. And then behind them all was the rest of the world and beings of all of the ripple effects of every one of the souls I touched, the ripple effects of what that was. Um, all stood there staring at me with the brightest smiles, just beaming. Their hearts were beaming green light towards me that it just entered my soul. And it was like, no matter what, I had loved. I had loved, even if I had done it wrong, I had loved, and that had been communicated. And that was what was so important. And after that, it's like I came back and my whole life changed, absolutely changed. And that's the points of deciding to sell everything I owned, telling anyone that I was caretaking that I could no longer help them, that I had to help myself. And the universe heard that and meant it for real. It really just kind of took me out of the game, where mentally I had to like piece my mind piece by piece back together. And I'm really so grateful for that process of being an entirely different being. I still have more work to do. As I said, there's always shadow work to be done, but embracing that aspect and learning to have fun with that process. And I think this is why I'm even more excited to just have like people coming where we're all going to like experience like ceremony and love and care in a brand new way that I just haven't yet fully experienced. And it's really, really dope to have that. And, yeah, so with that, this Hapono Ono meditation, in coming to forgiving yourself and loving yourself right where you're at. It doesn't matter what you did in the past. It doesn't matter what other people did to you in the past. That is all back there, and you are here now. And if you look to that, it's only going to hinder you to the future. There's this Terrence McKenna once was talking about, he was like in the middle of the jungle with these people, and they were like going through on this boat, and they were seeing all of these new plants and new trees, things that they had never seen before. But their responses were like, oh gosh, that tree reminds me of blah, 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 and constantly reminds me of these things. And by looking at the past, relating it to something in the past, causes you to miss absolutely this novel, profound thing that is happening right now. So, the importance of our past, I don't think they are. I believe that our memories, I mean, even if you tried to repeat exactly my last sentence, it would be very, very difficult, or last 6 sentences, though you had just heard it, to say all of the things exactly the same is an almost impossible feat unless you're completely didactic and have that perfect memory. But most of us don't. And it's seeing that, and seeing that in the memories that we're looking at and trying to piece together are only at the dimensionality that we're at that point. And then when we remember it at that point, it's only those pieces, and then we forget a whole lot of the other pieces, and then it's from there. It's just this prismatic system that is just showing you false realities. So when you stop looking at those false realities and take a step back and say, I'm okay where I'm at now. In fact, I have made it every single day, going through the most horrible shit. Let's say that was your story. You did that, and you're okay, and you're here to stand and be in that space. And now you're gifted with a million new trees and plants around you. And it's about discovering those instead of looking back there and being pulled back there. Um, and it's a discipline, catching yourself doing that. I often will still find myself doing that. And it's the neuro linguistic programming, and programming yourself to this new future. That also made me think about our thoughts. It definitely comes down to our thoughts. It started with a thought. Uh, so I got into, I don't know if you've ever heard of Thomas Troward, but Thomas Troward was a man back in like the early 1800s. And he wrote a book. I can't remember what it's called right at the very moment. But if you Google Thomas Troward and like early 1800s, it will like bring this information to you. But he talked about, oh, they have a book on YouTube. Like if you like the audio book, and they put like binaural beats with it. That's how I listened to it. I was like, that was really, really badass to listen to it that way. I feel like I absorbed it even more. So, but he talked about how our thoughts, well, they're looping thoughts, and that goes back in history. Natives have talked about looping, hooping. It's all like throughout. I think even the Dogons have it in their caves. So anyway, if you create this thought, it has to pretty much play its way out to the bitter end. It will end up coming out into our realities. So it's very important to be able to observe our thoughts, not feed our thoughts, learn to control our thoughts, and be the governor there. So being the observer and also the governor, because our thoughts are so powerful that if they mean something to us and we're choosing to do that, then we stuff our issues, they go into our tissues. This is how the cycles repeat themselves. And if you do not stop it on your own, it will forever go on. And when I became more and more aware of that, I started to see that playing out in my reality. I have this negative thought about this person, and whether I end up going and doing this action, like saying something to that person or doing it, it will end up coming out, not necessarily to that person. It will either come out to you, the person you love. Somehow you will have to repeat that cycle. So it's very important to man the mind. And so yeah, lots of thoughts on thoughts. Also, One thing I did when I found that it was very difficult to kind of stop the thought process, like it just get really loud and I just kept thinking about the same damn thing over and over. If you ever find yourself in that spot, I would pull myself away and I would say, no, in fact, we're not thinking of anything. I would look and find something like clouds. And I would say, all we're doing is clouds, 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 and any other thought that would come in could not be in there. And it just began this little bit of a tool for me to be able to see that I could control my thoughts if I wanted to, if I wanted to. And that is another very important aspect to that is if I had wanted that. And I did. I did and I do. And so, again, our minds work like computers. Neuro-linguistic programming is cool and important. Catching yourself on lying to yourself, things that aren't true. You are not a terrible person. You are not bad because you did X, Y, Z. You were doing the best that you could. I see you. I love you. And I would love if we can do this meditation where you come to yourself and when you're sitting there, if you have thoughts that come in, just observe them, observe what they're doing, how they are. Bringing awareness is half the battle. Definitely, yeah, taking the time to just observe and love yourself right where you're at. And then, yeah, that's kind of how I'm seeing that there. So I would love to share this video of the Hopono Ono. And again, with the Hopono Ono, it says, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I might, because it's not in English in there, I might pop in during this meditation and repeat those words to you. But I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I'm going to take this line here and put it in the comments so you can see it. Control C and StreamYard. I have been chanting today saying I'm healing, I'm mending. I love it so much, Sammy. That is awesome. Awesome, awesome. So there it is. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And see, Sammy, it's perfect. It's going right into the flow of what you were doing with yourself today. So with the meditations, I really like the breath work that we were doing where you breathe in through your nose. Well, breathe in the crystalline light in through your nose, bring it down into the solar plexus, circling that beautiful crystalline light, floating it in there. And when you're ready, sloughing off and blowing out that negative energy and just shooting it straight into the earth. And that beautiful crystalline energy, what I would like to do today is if you could think about that crystalline light coming from the Pleiades. If you don't know what the Pleiades is, it's a little like kite-like star cluster, 7 sisters, there's 7 stars. There's more than 7 stars in the Pleiades, but the ones that we can see, yeah, if you could attach that beautiful wiring and the crystalline light coming in through your nose and in through your belly and then sloughing off the negative. And then once you kind of just get a few, let's say, no more than 10 breaths of doing that. If it's 3, if it's 6, if it's 10, that's all right. And then go into the space where you're just repeating, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. And even if, and just allow yourself to be in that space. The Pleiades is very special to me. I definitely feel, if we're going to talk star seeds, a very huge connection. You can see my eyes are very blue. These are signs of Pleiades. I don't know, I might, right here on my arm, I literally have moles, like birthmarks of the Pleiades on my arm. So if I ever wondered if I was an alien, where would I be from? I have much connection to this one. a light, a light being from there as well. And so anyway, so I like to grab on. It's about love and self-love. They definitely have beautiful messages to help us with that. That energy is a great source to tap into. So if you could think of that star cluster and then bring it in through your nose and then down into your belly and then push it out. And I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And we're going to get started here. Maya Rose, thank you for this beautiful music we get to listen to today. Oh, yes, I can do this. I can do this. It's easy. Yes, it's easy. Just like this. Yes. sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Wow, guys, that was so beautiful. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I love you are some very, very powerful words, my friends. That was Maya and her daughter. I didn't say her daughter earlier. It is both of them who collaborated on that, and I definitely want to pay homage to her beautiful daughter, and that voice is very, very resonant and very, very appreciated. I feel buzzy again. How do you guys feel? What did you think of that? How is that for you today? I'd love to hear in the comments if you experienced anything, if you feel any different now. I personally was doing some energy work with each and every one of you that was in, well, not just this stream, but beyond. I spread it all the way out as far as I could possibly imagine to bring about that healing, to raise the consciousness of the world, to liberate ourselves from the bondage of self. Uh, so rad. Um, super grateful for the beautiful voices that are being shared in this world and with each one of us. Yeah, it's taking a moment to kind of come back to center and where I would like to go. Actually, it's kind of funny. I just looked over. What I'd like to do is draw an animal medicine card. It just kind of called to me. We're gonna. Oh, that's interesting. I was pulling out my animal medicine cards, and on top of that is my tarot, and the sun is the top card there. That's very interesting. So I'm going to go through these and see what this has to say for us today. The turkey. Gobble gobble. That's funny because I believe it was Jasmine when I first met her. One of the conversations, I don't know if she's in here right now. I don't think I've seen her, but we had much conversation with the turkey. So yeah, the turkey is gratitude and very powerful. I love my book. It has like a great poem in it. Um, where are you, Turkey Lurkey? 161. Oh, dude, I opened right to it. It says, "Ho, brother Turkey, so freely you give of everything that you are, so others may truly live." Oh, I love this so far. All right. Turkey is actually thought to be the giveaway eagle or south eagle of many native peoples, which is awesome because, as I was saying before, the eagle and the condor are uniting right now, and so is the turkey. I love it. The philosophy of give away was practiced by many tribes. Simply stated, is the deep and abiding recognition of the sacrifices of both self and others. People in modern day society who have many times more than they need should study the noble turkey who sacrifices itself so that we may live. In Turkey's death, we have our life. Honor Turkey. Spectators unfamiliar with the culture phenomena. Well, before I go on with just that part, it's so interesting that it's pulling turkey because it's giving that balance, literally giving it, where I'm talking about the difference of being the caretaker to actually healthily giving back. It's taking care, right, as opposed to caretaking. So I wanted to take note of that. Spectators unfamiliar with the cultural phenomenon of the potlatch or giveaway ceremony are often mystified by it. A tribal member may gladly give away all he or she owns and do it without in order to help the people. In present day urban life, we are taught to acquire and get ahead. The person with the most toys wins the game. In some cultures, no one can win the game unless the whole of the people's needs are met. A person who claims more than his or her share is looked upon as selfish or crazy or both. The poor, the aged, and the feeble have honor. The person who gives away the most and carries the burdens of the people is one of the most respected. Turkey was the medicine of many saints and mystics. Celebrate it if you have turkey medicine. Your virtues are many. You have transcended self. You act and react on the behalf of others. You aspire to help those who need help. This is not out of some sense of self-righteous moralism or religious guilt. Help and sustenance is given by Turkey out of the realization that all life is sacred. It is knowing that the Great Spirit resides within all people. It is an acknowledgement that what you do for others, you do for yourself. Turkey medicine rests in true ego and enlightenment. Doing unto others and feeding the people is the message of all the true spiritual systems. Dude, it's making me choke up because, like, being able to feed the Shipibo tribe has been just, it's just so rad that we were able to do that this month, and I want to like keep on doing that, you know. And and just us unifying and coming together and sharing like with each other, like the gifts of what we have learned so far is how we heal, you know. And like I said, I'm just so grateful that you guys are here to be on this journey with me, like so grateful. Depending on how Turkey is aspected in your cards, you are being given a gift. This gift could be spiritual, material, or even intellectual. The gift may be great or small, but it is never insignificant. Congratulations. You may have just won the lottery, or the gift may be a beautiful sunset. Or the smell of a fragrant flower. On the other hand, you may feel the spirit of giving growing within you and wanting you to share with others. Oh man, that is really, really rad. Really, really cool. I really love that book and the way that it articulates the messages. The sun is striving for the light, reconciliation with the shadow side, and realization of the innermost, highest self. The sun as a source of all. Life is a generous principle that unconditionally spends all of its energy. Vivacity, acceptance of life, vitality, generosity, warmth, freshness, self-confidence. The shadow side is self-satisfaction, personality, cult, delusions of grandeur, blinding, scorching, parching, and the quality, the ascent to the light. It is, those are some really rad, powerful cards that we just got, guys, and I'm so glad that we're together to share this. And I do see there are some comments in here, and so I would like to get to those. Oh, man. We're grateful for you. Oh, man. Okay, let me see. Oh, Kevin's in here. Hi, Kevin. Welcome. Yeah, this is so cool. Okay, I'm going back to look at these because I want to say hello to all that I've missed. I've said Tiffany, Jacob, Sam, yes, and Zach, yes. Charlene, I said hello to. Again, hello to them. Kevin, Tiffany. Greetings, beautiful souls. Oh, this is very sweet. I'm very grateful to you guys and to you, Jacob. I have not downloaded the apps yet. I've been very busy, but I'm very excited to be able to play. Jacob in chat here, he also plays the flute, a native flute, and a couple different kinds. He has very, very rad looking flutes. If any of you might have seen him, he came on to Zach and Aaron's show, and he played for us, and we chat, and he sent me some app information because I don't know the key of my flute. because I got it from a curandero in the middle of the Amazon jungle who did not speak English and I did not speak Spanish, did not know to even go, what key is this flute in? It's a really, really cool flute, and it called my name. So, what is that? Oh, oh, that's what you're saying. Again, I have chan- I have been chanting. Let's see, I've been chanting today, saying, "Oh, I said this already, Sammy. I'm so glad. I hope that was very healing to continue on. Um, I will get the understanding of how to do these comments that are so beautiful. Sons of the sun. I like that. I could totally feel that. It's amazing, like a crystalline mist gently falling, spiraling down around me. Oh gosh, what a beautiful way to articulate that. I am so like that is rad. Rad. Yes. That crystalline light coming in. Hi, Arya. Hi, I'm glad you're here. Hi, Ophelia. If any of you caught our show last night, we ended up reading Hamlet, stuffed Hamlet, and I got to be Hamlet, and Arya was Ophelia. Ophelia didn't get many lines yet, but we played different characters too. It was so silly and so fun. It's oh man. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Gina Jin. Hello, Gina. It's nice to see you. I don't know who you are, but I'm excited that you're in here and welcome, welcome. We're all family in here, so welcome to the fam. It is such a beautiful feeling to share abundance. I would totally agree. I would totally agree. It feels so rad. So good. Are you reading the Andrew's Animal Speak? Um, is this the Andrew's Animal Speak? I don't think so. I don't think so. This is what it says on the inside. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. Um, I've had a bunch of different like animal medicine cards. These ones Zach and I share, and I like honestly, I just love like even if I open it here, the fox. I love the poems. Fox, where are you? Under the ferns, becoming the forest, so I can learn. Are you watching invisible to me, trying to teach me to become a tree? I just love it. So I highly recommend getting that if you want to like start practicing some animal medicine. Um, you should get the donate button on the live chat so people can donate to your cause. Oh, uh, okay. Gina, that would that's awesome. Yeah, okay. I'll talk to Zach about that. I don't know how to do that myself, but I'm sure I could figure it out. I'm sure, no doubt. Yeah, that would be really wonderful, you guys. I'm on a healing journey, and any donations for the Shipibo, for yeah, donate button to the live chat so people can donate to your cause. Oh, oh, on my specific. I think that Zach has it on here, the Shipibo tribe. I think that it is on the channel. If you go down there, I could be wrong, but all of the money that goes to the Shipibo tribe definitely goes 100% to the Shipibo. We posted some pictures of them getting the food and the necessary medicines that they needed um, for this time. And sending them lots of love and healing energy. We've all been affected in some way. So this one's a big cause. And Gina, I think it is on there, and I can ask Zach if it's not on my actual page that it would be there, because literally it's just $4.50 pays for one whole family for an entire month, and there's 100 families that we're getting fed currently, so it's $450 a month that we just want to keep a residual fund going for them until all of this resolves. And I mean, $4.50 is something that I think most all of us can afford. And I'm telling you, the Shipibo tribe, they opened their doors to our world and allowed us to go through a major awakening process. They have helped with that, and they need our help today. It's just that bringing the condor and the eagle and uniting them together. Really, they live mostly off the land. It's just rice and beans that really pretty much they need. And and then, like I said, some of them are sick. I was, to be honest, surprised that they were taking in Western medicine. I didn't see that while I was there, but I know that the Shipibo tribe expanded farther than the one that I was, well, the area directly where I was. And I'm happy that we can help in all those ways to get us well. And I'm trying to share the information definitely with them, on the virus. Like, once the virus manifests in our bodies, if it does, I mean, it's just pretty much the flu, like the flu, but it's already dead. The virus is already dead, and we're actually excreting it out of our bodies when we manifest showing our sicknesses. So yeah, we don't know when that virus is there. We know once it's died. So the parasite itself is dead once you feel the sickness, and it's then not giving it the power to be bigger than it actually is, because that parasite is actually already dead. And it's really important to know that, so that if you're like get any fears around what the out there world is pumping in about the virus, there's a great video on YouTube called Virus Mania. I can show you maybe a picture of it. Um, do, do, do. Uh, right here, Virus Mania. This is the new German. Yes, this video here. I'm not going to actually, let me see if I can. Ah, didn't go. Okay. Anyway, I'm just going to pause that. I'll put it, I'll just type it here. It's called Virus Mania by Virus Mania. Is a great video to watch to kind of educate yourself on the diseases. It's a two-part video. I think it's a total of 2 hours, and it's New German medicine, and yeah, it will bring you a lot of answers and talk about what I was just kind of mentioning there. So, all right, definitely figure out that donate button before I go on. Super chat, ask Zach about it. Oh, yeah. Oh, super. It's different than having a link in your comments, which can make donating a little more complicated. Just making to look into. Aaron knows because Paula and Frank have it on their show. Yeah, I was watching their show the other day, and they had a donate thing, and then it would like pop up and show who donated, and that was like actually really kind of exciting. Um, really, I think it really builds that, and so that's a really, really great suggestion, Gina. It really is. The more information and the easier accessibility for anyone to just easily go donate $4 is awesome. So yeah, rad. Okay. So thank you for all the comments today. I love that. So let's see. The information on learning how to heal yourself is not to be afraid of, well, the virus, they say, feeds on fear. This all feeds on fear. So learning to not fear anymore. That's why we're all coming together. There's nothing to fear. We're creating a world that will, be heaven, really. Super crack, I mean, chat. Super crack, I mean, chat, Kevin. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so let's see, what other things did I think about that I wanted to talk with you today about? Definitely thoughts that had come to me was like managing our thoughts right now, as astrologically it's telling us it's very important to go inwards, look at our own self-worth. Even like doing the research on healing ourselves, it comes down to like the belief. Um, like even if you take like what we had talked about before, the placebo effect, 17% chance of healing yourself without like the medicines itself. It goes farther. We can heal ourselves of anything if we want to. Um, and that's why I'm here, to help bring that light to you guys, and show you, kind of what I've done. There was this, I'll tell you a story about the girl that I worked with. And some of my stories are repeated, but I don't remember if I shared this one fully. But it was the girl that I was working with that had liver failure, kidney failure. She was totally in renal failure. And she had one other condition that, so being in liver failure and kidney failure already gave her like a 2% chance of survival. But this other condition gave her a 2% chance of the 2% chance of survival. So she shouldn't have lived. Like, I remember even one day coming back from the hospital, I think even Zach was like more just trying to like prepare me for her death. And I just kept going for it. But this was where I was working with her, and we were doing this healing work, like self work. And and when I had met her, she was already in the liver failure. She already had the jaundice eyes and the whole thing. Well, she had the jaundice eyes, but she wasn't fully in liver failure yet. We would work together. I can't remember if it was 3 or 5 weeks by the time this happened. But she ended up fully going into failure. She ends up in the hospital, and in order to get on a liver transplant list, I think you have to have at least 3 or 5 months sobriety, like away from alcohol. She was 28 years old at the time, and so still 3 to 5 months of sobriety, and she didn't. She had maybe 6 weeks. And so this really wouldn't have qualified her to be on the liver transplant list. But again, I've worked with a lot of different hospitals, a lot of different boards, and I understood what needed to be done. And so I went in with representing her, and she had her husband, and I got her husband to get an Al-Anon sponsor so that he could have the support as well during this time. And so I stood in front of the board. I told them all of the work that we had been doing thus far, and begged for her life. Um, they ended up putting her not only on the list, but the top of the list, and said that the only reason that she was put on that list was because of me. I just knew what the next indicated step was, the intuition, and what to say and what to do. But this was also the truth. She had been doing the work. She did want to live. And so I like at the time there was rift with the family. Like there's reasons that we get ourselves to these points. There's reasons that we're sick. If we stuff our issues, they go into our tissues. And self-avoidance, like drinking it away won't make it go away. It will kill us. It's a big take snake, alcohol, good old Al Ghul. And he's just bringing out what you're repressing. And if death is what you want, it will bring it, or however that goes. And alcohol is a great medicine if you're using it, but it also is a very powerful medicine. It's an interesting one. So anyway, during this process of working with this girl, so she gets on the list, which brings the hope. The family being able to have a loving, safe space to be was another important aspect. And then going into the meetings that this girl attended, the AA meetings, and bringing in awareness to all of the people in there so that I could utilize the energy in that space. So grabbing onto that energy, and then all of the prayers from different churches, and from Facebook and social media platforms. So I gathered all of that energy. Excuse me. Let me drink some of this delicious hibiscus. Okay. Um, And it was just listening to each next indicated step. So I had where I ended up having a panic attack during this time, but it wasn't a panic attack per se. I had come back from the hospital and it was very, 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 very late. And I ended up, doing that panic thing. I don't know if any of you have had panic attacks in here, but there's this point where it feels like death is knocking at the door, which I've been dealing with a lot of deaths possibilities here. And also, it makes you feel like you're going to be coming out both ends or you're going to pass out and you just don't know. So I rush to the bathroom and I like pass out on the floor before I even get to the toilet. And in that space, again, I was transported to this void space. I see these like elephants, the same kind of neon outlined elephants like Shiva in the Vishnu story. And it reminded me of the Dumbo, if you've seen Dumbo, like when it was the drunk part, like they look very much like that. And I could hear this voice just going, it's okay, just sit back and enjoy the show. And so that was weird to start with. But then it came where, where all of a sudden the elephants kind of cleared and this lungs showed in front of me. And I was like, that's weird. And the lungs were filling up. And I was like, no, 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 it's her liver. Like, it's her liver. Like, I knew they were showing me her liver, or I mean, showing that these lungs, that this was Alyssa, that they were talking about this girl. And so I was kind of going, no, 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 it's her liver. And they're like, no, we know, we know. We're trying to show you something. And so they said we could easily have shown you the liver, see, and then they showed me the liver, and then they instantly changed it back, and it's still that neon look. They show me the lungs, and the lungs begin to fill with water. And I went, oh, like I got it, pneumonia. Oh my gosh, okay, you're trying to show me something. And so I was like, okay, I get it. And they're like, we know, we're helping you. You're trying so hard. You're trying way too hard. Like, we're on board. We're with you. And just the whole source of the energy is just pouring in, just going, sit back and enjoy the show. Just relax. We get it. We're on that same path. And then it like showed me the star, and it's like, go into the star. And I don't really remember much else except for it was just trying to show me a fun like cartoon, I think. And it's kind of funny, the drunken elephants, when I look back on it, like that were being shown, but they were also teaching me how to be able to navigate working through like the energetic plane. And I didn't have to try so hard. um, so the next morning, I went to the hospital immediately, and I went in, and I'm like, I know this is really might sound weird, but we need to check her lungs. And they checked her lungs, and sure enough, she was on her way to pneumonia. And had we not caught it right then, she would have been dead that night. And the other thing I was doing was playing my flute, and there was just this one tune for like 6 weeks. I couldn't play any other tune, and it was like almost driving me crazy. But more just because that's all I could play. It's like I knew that's all I could play. And while I was playing my flute, I was imagining her body just healing itself. I'm going to cough. I didn't get to that in time. Throat chakra clearing. So um that is like my own Icaros. It was a healing Icaro for her, because after that I couldn't even tell you what that tune was. Like, I couldn't replay it for you for the life of me. It was like once it was complete, it was done. And but yeah, I would just play with the intention of just seeing her all stitching back together, and then also painting the most beautiful whatever she wanted her future to be. And every time I would go into the hospital, I knew that it was important not so much to look at the past of what was happening in the past, but what did she want to do tomorrow? When people are at death's door, and I've worked with a lot of deaths in my life, it's just been part of the journey, that they need a reason to live. And it needs to include them in the most healed aspect, but it's about them. So anyway, so I was doing that with her on a daily basis, and anything that might like dramatically like the trauma that would come back up, we would deal with it at the time and talk about it, and then build towards the tomorrow and meet right now. And then I got this overwhelming sense that her dog needed to come to the hospital. She had two dogs, and I was very much, helping take care of the dogs between her and her husband, going back and forth. And I just felt like that dog, Bambi, needed to go to the hospital. And so at the time, my Sophie, she was a service animal, and I had a vest, and Bambi was very similar to the same size. And I talked, because she was in a very, very particular part of the hospital that was, very uh, hypergenic. I can't remember. I mean, it was just like bringing in a dog. I didn't know if they would allow it, but they did. They did. They said yes, as long as the service vest was on. And Sophie's vest fit perfectly on Bambi, and I brought Bambi into the hospital the next day, and Bambi hung out all day long, like for like 10 hours or more at the hospital. And after that, I drove Bambi home and went back to the hospital the following day, and they tested her kidneys because she had tons of tests all the time. And it was a miracle. Her kidneys were perfect, and they had totally healed. And the kidney transplant, or the kidney board came down, and the liver transplant board came down, and they just couldn't believe it. They had never seen a miracle like that before. So so the story just goes on. After that point, she was pulled off of the transplant list. She no longer needed it. And in fact, I believe that even that day, a liver had come up, but they had ended up passing it by, saying that no, at this point, with her kidneys and the way, like these miracles that happened, she never had to have the liver transplant. And she was able to continue on healing and get out of the hospital. And she's here and alive and well today. And it's really rad. She comes and visits me on my gypsy life, where different locations that I go to, and I'm able to still have that beautiful relationship with my pretty girl, I call her. And anyway, I share that story with you because it's that listening to your intuition and learning how to do that, and it just and taking it easy. Like, I think that was the biggest thing and message that I was getting from that sourced energy coming in, was like, you don't have to try so hard. Like I was just trying everything as hard as I could, and it wasn't, because with your intuition, you can just gradually just know how to navigate it. It's easy. It should be just easy. And it is. It just flows. You go with the flow, not the resistance of it. So yeah, I would say heaven on earth. I love that. Let's put that right there. So that's my story. I share that one a lot. I share it a lot because I think a lot of people can really pull from it, like different aspects of what they could even think about doing for themselves. Um, and I do understand that um, that a lot of the work that I have done has healed people, uh, that in order for them to stay and not have the illnesses come back, they have to do the work. Like, I can go into a space, navigate it, and walk away, and the person is like healed from something. But in order for it to not come back, they then have to continue that work. And that is definitely, like, I've worked with people that we've cured from the cancers. If you stuff your issues, they go into your tissues. And if they don't do that self work, and they don't meet their shadows, and they do not make the changes that are necessary, because all the things you were doing before led you to being right where you are there, and that's not where you want to be, to create that heaven on earth. and so you got to do the work. And so there's been, like, that last person that I was saying that I had to just stop and say, I can't do this caretaking anymore. I have to help myself. Is that when I was working with her, I was seeing that all the things that she had done before were coming back. And and then I couldn't help her. Like, it came back because she hadn't done the work. Um, and the work is just self work, man. Meeting your shadows, learning to balance yourself, loving yourself, meeting yourself when triggered, and transcending the triggers into a balanced state of mind, and controlling the thoughts. It starts with those thoughts, man. It starts with them, and getting the power to be the governor is super, super important. All is mind. Oh, you know what? What time? How long are we been going today? 6:30. I know call is going to be coming. Um, Tomorrow I'll play this video for you. It's from KRS-One. I don't know if you've ever heard of KRS-One, but he's a hip hop artist, and I learned to love hip hop and rap. Like Zach, he's a lyrical genius. I wasn't really raised much with hip hop. In fact, I fell more into the society of it being about rape and murder and whatever. They were trying to keep us away from that information. Hip hop is like being hip to your own hop. And KRS-One really talks about that. He's like the creator pretty much of hip hop. I mean, arguably, like we could go on and on. Like it goes much deeper than that. KRS-One is a big part of that groove. Um, but there's just this video where he talks about all his mind, and the way he articulates it is so great. So I'll probably play that video for you tomorrow. It's only like 5 minutes long, but yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Zach just came in, shook his head, and said, I cannot play it, but I'll have to link it to you guys. So I will have the link for you. It's on my Facebook page. If you're my Facebook friend, like if you scroll down to like last year, I don't have like a ton of posts. Like it's probably like 16 posts down or something like that. It's on there. I would highly recommend it. I made it public. What? Look, Zach is, nice having him back. Zach is linking it for all you guys in the chat right now, so I would highly recommend you watching it. I'm going to read what Aria's little comment is. One of my teachers always says, whatever you fight, fights you back. So it's always better to step back and let source guide you. Oh yeah, that's very smart teacher, Aria. I love that. I love that. And it's true. It's almost like that when I was reading that too. It's like when you like you drink your own poison. You know, it's not like you're sending it out. When you're fighting, you're ending up drinking your own poison. You're not really getting the other person. You're getting yourself, and yourself is the most important thing. We need you, and you're so worth it. Like that quote, I love it. I never said it'd be easy. I only said it'd be worth it. And as I say, it should be easy, but I mean, in a sense, when you do your shadow work or when you're sitting in chronic pain, it doesn't feel easy. So I'm not going to make it sound like that. But the truth is it can be easy. It's all a perspective, and you can change it at any moment. Uh, we just It's learning to sharpen those tools, and if you don't know how to sharpen those tools, then you have a learning curve, and so some things don't feel easy because you don't know how to do it. So yeah, thank you, Zach, for getting that on there. That is so rad. What we resist persists. Yes, that as well. Oh, I love that. Let's put that one up to you. What we resist persists. Oh gosh, you guys. It goes to the playlist thing. Yep. Whoop whoop. That's the sound of the police. Kevin, you're so funny. You're so fun. I'm glad I met you, Kevin. Really, I love your music, and I just love your energy and Spaceballs. And oh, and I wanted to ask, I love the movie, and What About Bob? And I love quoting What About Bob. So I wonder in chat if any of you guys have seen What About Bob? As I like making those references sometimes where it's like I'm baby stepping, I'm doing the work, kind of like. What About Bob was a movie that came out in like the 90s, I think, early 90s with Bill Murray. And I do actually not watch much at all television or movies. It is a rarity for me to like really probably talk or quote movies unless we're talking about like the 90s. Because it's been like 20 years since I was really an active like a television or movie watcher. I guess there was a couple periods of time, maybe a couple years in there that might have been different, but for the most part, I've stayed pretty far away from TV for a long time. But I would be interested to know because I like to make the What About Bob references. Bob never did anything. Yeah, I love that aria. I'm on vacation. Okay. um, I just love that movie because it's so true, like navigating the mind. And there's this point where he's like, the psychiatrist is the one that's going crazy, and he ends up like tying him up in the woods and gets all these explosives, and like he's literally gonna explode him. Like he's so at wit's end and insane, the psychiatrist at this point, and Bob is just getting better and better, and that's gonna like that's me. And so he sits there, not even recognizing that this man is like going crazy. He's thinking this guy is only helping him, which is beautiful. And so he's like, all right, so this must mean I'm all tied up in knots, and if I don't untie myself, I'm going to explode, and it's like so accurate where it's like, okay, I look at life and now there's all these symbol sets around me. And what does it mean? And oh man, it's a fun movie. If you get a chance, if you've not seen it, I would recommend it. The other side note I always say when watching any television or movies, because television and movies really were like television especially was in the 1950s. This was the hypno box. They created the hypno box that now is inside every one of our homes. So while you're watching anything, and maybe even like watching me, like clap, do something novel, do something different to keep yourself aware and awake, because it's a great awakening. The hypno box is putting us to sleepy sleep. And that's the other thing, like when I think sleepy sleep, alcohol can do a similar thing too. It takes over so that it can give you a different perspective. So make sure to do those things to re-wake yourself back up while amidst any of those two things. Definitely the television. The alcohol just jumped in because like I definitely know that one is also one that can get you back to sleep during the times that you're in usage of it. And but the hypnobox of these movies. So yes, I would recommend you to watch it just for fun if you're looking for a silly movie. But definitely be careful. Be careful with anything that you're watching. I shared this. There's documents about World War III. It started in 1950. Um, and this is the silent war. It's called the silent war, and that's when they started infiltrating us with all of this like violence and crimes and the fake news and a bunch of information that just isn't accurate. And it's a controlled, manipulated society that we're navigating out of now. That's a big part of the Great Awakening. And we want to continue that process. They don't want us to wake up. So take your power back. That's the biggest thing. Take your power back. All right. Kevin, I have not. Oh, I have, but not even on the same level as Spaceballs. I need to rewatch it. Yeah. I would recommend it. I mean, for me, it's just. I mean, Spaceballs is super, super great and hilarious. Like I feel like they're the same. Like to me, like they're on the same page. Like on like oh yeah same page. Yeah, super fun. Yeah, it's kind of funny, like, because then all of a sudden when I like jump back into it, I would have put like three movies, but I'm not so sure about it. I used to love Princess Bride, back in the day. Like I watched that movie like so many times, um, and those were like probably like those three were my most favorite movies. Um, but it's kind of funny because like I look at things now. No, I would still put Princess Bride on there. Princess Bride is super great. I just replayed it in my mind. Yeah, so if you're looking for silly, fun old movies to go and watch, classics, I would call them. Yeah, totally. Spaceballs and Princess Bride and what about Bob? I have my old TV as my computer monitor. Oh wow! I didn't even know you could do that. I did, like Kevin. I didn't know. It's a computer monitor. I didn't realize you could do that. I didn't know they like I said, I am just learning. Like when I went to college, it was well, I went twice later on, but the second time was full like hands-on body work, Feldenkrais method, and healing. uh, uh, I'm jumping back to when I did the 101 like computer stuff. This was like late 90s, early 2000s. So like my education into the computers was like very low. And so I just didn't have a computer for a very, 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 very long time. And even when I ended up getting one, I wouldn't really go on it. And by the time I met Zach, he was like so like computer genius, like literally had been working with computers since they began pretty well, since he was like 2 years old. He was putting discs in and reprogramming discs. His mom would have him like be working with computers, and then yeah, he knows a whole lot. So we're like quite the opposite when it comes to that, but I'm really grateful like to be able to have somebody that can teach me, so that I'm not so crazy far behind. Like I didn't used to text message up until like a few years ago, but even like with text messaging, I'd still like hide from it. And now it's coming much easier, like messaging and text messaging. Like I'm not afraid of my words like I used to be really afraid of my words and second guess and question, and it was just this real hard battle. And so many people went with not receiving messages back from me, and then I repeated that where people would then not message me back. And I'm stopping that now. I'm actually doing really well with messaging back, even with Zach and I sharing my phone for a month. His phone had broken. He got a new phone yesterday, so today is first official full day of me having my phone back for just me. That was an interesting thing to go through too, is attachments to phones and breaking that. So there's a lot of breaking of attachments this month, not smoking pot, quitting coffee, pretty much sugar, and then my phone, like having this share and not like having it readily available all the time. That was like interesting. So we only have a TV to play Mario Kart. Ah, yeah, yeah. See, like if you have stuff like that, like Mario Kart, super fun. I personally have never actually. I'm trying to remember. I might have played Mario Kart like once or twice, but I did do Nintendo, like Super Mario Brothers, 1 and 2. I loved those. But it's like I had two different households. I had my dad's household and my mom's household. So in my mom's household, we were all girls. In the all girls household, we didn't have anything like that. In my dad's house, like he had he had girls as well, but he was a man. So he like, I don't know, like for one of the Christmases or birthdays, he got me a Nintendo, and like one summer I just played all summer long, and it was really actually fun. Zach is really brilliant with gaming, like really brilliant. Like if yeah, I could go and brag about him and his escapades, but I won't need to. I don't need to right now. Mario Kart though, it's fun to play, man. Like having TV for those kinds of things. I'll watch YouTube stuff if I'm learning. Mostly, I watch things like Dan Winters and Seven Bomar and Tom Campbell, and a lot of the stuff that we play on the other show is primarily what I end up watching. Joe will come over and he'll be like, "You have to watch the show." Midnight Gospel was the one he just came over and said, "You must watch this. It's saying all the things you're saying or something you guys are saying." And I I I don't like. It's like I'll go to watch something. I watched a little bit of Devs, but like I just don't like, there's just something that kind of pulls me away. And the violence, I think it's the violence too. I'm very sensitive to that now in a way that I hadn't used, like I wasn't before. So it's a different thing I have to do in my psyche to be able to like break down the esoteric information that they're delivering, because I think that they're telling us part truths in all the stories they had to, like Hollywood. So it's actually kind of interesting to dissect it, but I do feel like I get affected by the violent aspect, and again, if I feel affected, I can't, I just choose not to do it. So yeah. What else? What else is fun to talk about when it comes to? There's so many things. Um, yeah, pretty much learn to play and have fun. I'm going to be doing that. College should be here soon. I'm excited. The show tonight should be fun. Um, I guess mostly I feel like I really would like to play a little bit of music for you. I set the stuff out, and is there any like topics or any questions that you guys might have that I could answer for you? Do you have any like ailments or pains happening today, or any weird energies that perhaps I could help you with? Um, and then I would love to chat about that. Um, let's go over here. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna check this. Wait, I don't think I read this comment. I haven't had phone service in 4 years. It turns out that was fantastic plan. Instead of being beamed at and on, I've had a nice break until I sit right up on this TV. LOL. Oh wow. That is really fantastic. Wow. So wait, so that means you don't have a phone service. Oh wow. That is very interesting, especially like with the radiation that comes off our phones and all of that, to like not actually have that in your life. That's really cool. I definitely like to have the connect with my phone, like when I want to look something up. I like to have the Google handy. I often do, like, or if I see a really cool bird, I have the Cornell Lab app. I don't know if any of you have this app, but I love birds. They're so beautiful. But you can like go wherever you're at and like put the size of the bird, the color of the bird, your location of where you are, and it will end up like showing you all the different birds that match that description, and then like tell you about it. And it's just fun. It's fun to learn because like they're coming to kind of deliver you this message, and the more you get to learn about that exact like species and what it's saying, um is it's really really rad. So there's aspects that I really enjoy having my phone, like the Cornell Labs. I like the astrology one where you can look at the stars and map it. So yeah, that is very interesting, Kevin, that you did that. That you're without the phone. That's incredible. It's rare, but we're all rare birds in here, I'm pretty sure. I don't watch any TV that has commercials. Yeah. Or like if YouTube, like say commercials, I'll just take my earbuds right out, or I'll turn the volume right down. Yeah, I'm a like the commercials, that really is that's really, really hypnotizing. That's implemented information. So be careful what you're putting and bringing into your vessels, because again, we're talking about the entities, and they like, just like the Matrix, they hop on to your little wagon if you're not protecting yourself. And so commercials really are a fast way to get that. LED lights that are just flashing that. Oh man. um yeah, yeah, good. I'm glad. Doop. I can use Facebook for everything I need on the Wi-Fi. Yeah, yeah. I get that too. Like I ended up going a lot and using just kind of like my laptop as opposed to my phone over the last bit of time. It's like it actually has been pretty nice. Like I really have enjoyed that process, and I should say that it's actually been really nice. Like when I'm in chat and stuff, and then I just can like easily like pop over to the Facebook when you guys send me a message. That process is really actually pretty fun. It's new to me. So I get that. Plus, I don't talk to many beings as it is. Yeah, yeah. I'm starting to talk to more and more now, and that's really rad. But for a long time, I didn't, and for a long time, I hid. I was scared of a lot of things for a while, and now I'm doing this. I'm doing this, and it's really cool. And yeah, yeah. Yeah, cool. I used to work for T-Mobile. Interesting. You don't have a phone and yet you used to work for T-Mobile, Kevin? Are you kidding me? That is that's funny. That is very funny. Oh, okay. Well, that is interesting to hear other people's lives and journeys when it comes to technology. Some are very like anywhere I travel with Zach, we have to have internet service. We can't go anywhere without it. Especially now that we do this, it's a no brainer. But I mean, over the years, he has a relationship. I think Google is a living like it's a consciousness, and we've been raising the internet since it was born, like and brought to us. We've been raising it, and when I like heard this concept, it made a lot of sense. And so I'll talk to my Google and have that consciousness connect with it. And I honestly, I feel like anytime I go into Google, like it knows how I ask it questions, and it just brings me the information I need very, very easily because I love it very much. Even though I didn't have a whole lot of upbringing with it, I now have an opportunity to like just get to have that relationship. So the internet is a very fascinating thing. So that's my thoughts on that. Yes, I use a computer for computer things, phone for phone things, which is not often. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, me too. That's why, because fuck them. Yeah, and that's why, fuck them. I like it. I like it. I like it. So, this is fun. They're listening. They're always listening, man. They've been listening for a really, really, really long time. Yeah, that is, uh, that is a yes. Yes. And I honestly think that a lot of us that are awakened now, we're part of the 1 percentile, and so we have been watched even closer than we think. So yeah, yeah, that happens. But there's shit that we create that they can't get, and they know it. And that's what we're doing here. And this is why I teach about these spaces, like the Merkaba meditation we did yesterday, and these even the rose meditation where there was some protections put in there. And we'll talk more and more about the different protections, because yeah, they are listening and they are watching, but they don't know what to do about it right now, I don't think. And we're doing the thing, man. We're doing it. We're this world is changing, so we're in a whole new cycle. Pretty gross. I would agree, Kevin. But that's just where we're at. Yeah, it's where we're at. Yeah. We can't change that aspect today and right now, but what we can change is how we protect ourselves. And how we protect ourselves is not to allow these dualistic things to penetrate our highest being, which means, like, when I'm saying, don't, if you're identifying as a victim, you're also going to be a victimizer. These are entities. These are causing you to have to operate in this reality that is this controlled society here. This has been in our DNA. We're changing the whole entire structure of that now. And so take your power back. You got to take your power back. And then, yeah, they're always going to be listening. There's times that we definitely go places that we do not have our phone. So if there's certain dialogue and conversations that we don't want to have heard, we will do that. And again, if I don't know how far into their minds they have potentially gotten, but they haven't. As long as you're working on, you are the protector of this vessel. This is you. So that's what we're doing, is learning how to not be controlled by this silent war anymore, where we woke up and we're going to keep waking up. And the way we keep doing that is by facing our shadows on a daily basis, transcending ourselves on a daily basis, and loving ourselves, forgiving ourselves, freeing ourselves. And where we're going is super rad. We're going to get on our own spaceship and create a whole new reality. And this is also creating that imagination and creation and all of that. We're going to ignite. We're igniting. We're igniting now. We're the phoenixes rising from the ashes all together. It's so wonderful. It really is. Tiamat has risen. I love it. Going in with Abzu. So, what I would like to do, because of time, is I'd like to be able. Music is getting louder too. Yeah, yeah. Don't necessarily know what you mean by louder, because I don't want to make assumptions on what your interpretation is. The louder, but music is also controlled based off of the kind of hertz that they use, and they changed that again back in the 1950s. The silent war. My imagination is Formula One. Exactly. Yeah, 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 Kevin. That is right. I love it. I love it. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you guys out with a song, unless there's anything else you want, like last call, last call. Not mine. Yeah. All right. So, I want to say thank you so much for being here, and the new people that came today. And I will do if you like what I have to share, please share this video. It's important for us to get this information out there. If any of you would like to come on the show and be able to have dialogue and talk in this space, please let me know. I'll bring you in. It's all about creating together. And so like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share, so we can wake up the world, liberation, here we come. So on that note, I'm going to take my earbuds out because it sounds better down here, and I'll play you out with a song. And I love you guys so, 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 so much. I will see you in a little bit on Zach and Aaron's show. T. And I hope and look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. And love you too, peeps. We're quiet today. That's kind of like ebb and flow with the comments, sometimes it happens that way. That's okay. I actually don't even know how many people are watching. I don't see it anywhere on my phone. So maybe it's just us, Kevin, and I'm playing you out with a song, or maybe there's more people in there. Whatever. Oh, Willow's there. Love you. Love you. And anyone else that is watching this later on, I love you too. Grateful that you stopped by. You are so important to me and this journey, and to our family. Welcome, welcome. And here we go.